Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's I'm going to be reviewing this modified Toyota 4Runner. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Alpine Overland for giving me some time with this 4Runner. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out their inventory. They also do custom builds on cars, so if you're interested in that, just reach out to them. Ask for Ryan. With that being said, let's get right into it. Powering this is a turbo 2.4 liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed. It puts out 278 horsepower and then 317 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. The spec that they picked out for this build I think is perfect. This is a TRD Off-Road finished in underground. You can see that the badges are all blacked out with this, and then they've removed the factory air dam, so you've got a much more aggressive approach angle, but more importantly, it looks a whole lot cooler. This comes with fog lights and recovery points from the factory. Now, the tire setup on this is massive, 35 by 12.5 by 18. You can see we've got the TRD wheels, and we've got the Goodyear Wranglers, which really solid tire. I think it looks great as well. Now, this has the Icon shocks, lift kit, and all of that. I'll show you guys in the rear quickly so you can see. Very intrigued to see how this actually performs. By the way, you can see with the wheel offset and with those larger tires, this has a really aggressive stance, and it makes like a stock 4Runner definitely look like a pipsqueak, that's for sure. And yeah, look at that. You got kind of a nice bit of poke there. And here's a quick look at the rear as well. Now, I just quickly want to mention this is the premium package inside with the TRD, so you got the nice soft tech seats, and then being an off-road, we've got multi-terrain select crawl control and a rear locking differential as well, but this has heated and ventilated seats, so it's got quite a bit of luxury too. So check out their website for the most up-to-date pricing, and with that being said, let's see how this performs. And let us set off. I'm actually really excited to test this out and see how this performs. There's a little bit of a tight squeeze between the cones. But yeah, this is not the first lifted 4Runner that we've seen on the channel, but this is the first one that is not just basically a what I call a dealership bro build, where, I mean, you guys know, like most of the dealerships, what they do is they just throw in, you know, just basically taller springs, and they keep factory shocks and all that kind of stuff because it's more affordable. But that leads to a driving experience where the car, well, although it has bigger tires, it doesn't necessarily drive as well. So what I'll say first off is I'm actually surprised at how well this 4-cylinder is handling 35s. I've driven the GX with bigger tires. I've driven the new Land Cruiser with bigger tires. The GX has a V6. The Land Cruiser has this engine with a hybrid. This is actually surprising. We'll actually take it on the interstate so we can kind of see how that is. But yeah, this 4-cylinder has so much torque that it can actually move these 35s. That is not what I expected. And the ride's really good. You do hear some more noise from the tires. Again, they're more aggressive all-terrains. That's kind of how things are going to go. But they're comfortable, which I think is a big plus. Seats are comfortable too with the premium. Get the nice kind of like softer trim and everything. Steering's not struggling at all. Again, bigger tires, sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle with the steering, but no, not an issue at all. Oh man, maybe we shouldn't have done the interstate. We have the line of death. Well, I will get back to you guys once we are at the front of the line. We are about to see how this accelerates with these 35s. Well, the Corolla slowed us down, but not bad actually right off the bat. It's got torque. I mean, you guys can see I'm going a bit higher up in the RPMs, but I'm not even fully wringing that engine out. Now, I'm not going to call this fast, but it has the torque. this is actually quite impressive. More impressive than I expected. So, in summary, well, starting to summarize, I suppose. This thing drives a lot better than I expected it to drive, and it's most of the engine performance that I was worried about. Again, when I'm looking at the new 4Runner, I'm going, okay, 278 horsepower to move 35-inch tall tires. And these aren't skinny 35s either. It's a bit of work. But it seems like it handles it just fine. And the braking's been, I want to do a little bit more driving, but the braking seems like it's been pretty good too. I wonder what the fuel economy would end up being though. I mean, I had that 4Runner for a week and I got like just as good as I get my Land Cruiser, like in the 20s. So this probably is going to drop you down a bit. The nice thing about the non-hybrids is they've got a slightly, if I remember right, they got a slightly larger fuel tank. Because they've got more space for it. You don't have to worry about the batteries much. Man, this is nice. The suspension really is comfortable. And to give you guys an idea of how comfortable this is, I have a Lexus LX 700H Overtrail for the week. That has, in terms of like off-roaders, that has probably the most comfortable suspension I've ever tested out. And so jumping from that into this and still being able to perceive this as comfortable, I think that goes to show you how good this Icon setup is. And I kind of expected that. I've tested Icons in the past, and that seems to be the name of the game with Icon, is they are a bit more comfortable compared to some of the competition. But Icon is expensive. That is the one downside, is it's expensive to do Icon. I want to kind of get like a few, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to go over some bumps I can't fully test out the shocks, but I think it handles everything well. Let's also use this parking lot here to crank it and see if the tire setup rubs at all. I don't think it will, but got to do it for the YouTube. Man, this lot's tighter than I thought it would be. Usually there's some open space, but yeah, I guess right here we can probably use it. So we'll just go full crank to the side. Nothing. Okay, now we obviously got to do the reverse crank too. Well, let's do it this way. Yeah. Nothing. So no rubbing. And the thing to note, these new Toyotas, they've built them out with more clearance in the wheel wells so that you don't have to worry about rubbing. I mean, on like a stock 4Runner, new 4Runner, you can fit, if you have the correct wheel offset, you can fit 34s on it, stock suspension. So with a little bit of a lift and a more aggressive offset, yeah, you can make the 35s work. So I really am impressed with the torque though. It's not going to have a lot of passing power on the highway, obviously, but just around town and everything, it doesn't feel bad. You gotta sit in the throttle for a little bit longer though. That's the thing to note. So again, if you want more power, you just get the hybrid. You just get a hybrid 4Runner. You lose cargo space though. Man, look how cool. I love that Land Cruiser build. These TRD wheels are really sharp looking, I think. So let me guys think about this 4Runner build. I think this was done really well. I like the icons a lot. And you know, although the new 4Runners are definitely more expensive, this is kind of more of an affordable build on a new 4Runner, where it's basically just wheels, tires, you got the lift, you got the shocks. Nothing too crazy. Let me know what you think.